Hey, Money Magnet, it's good to see you back. Sunday, new week coming up. Are you ready? You're not ready? I hope you're ready. We had some good action last Friday. Bulls continued to push the price a bit higher, clearing, previous past all-time highs, and SPY actually gave us a new all-time high. The previous all-time high was around the 613-ish area. This was back in February, a few months ago. A few months later, here we are, closing even higher than 613 for the first time, giving us a new all-time high close. Incredible, despite all the negative news. Speaking of negative news, there was actually news about more tariff talks. Donald Trump was talking about tariffs on Canada, and usually those talks about tariffs doesn't really make the market feel really good. From what I've seen, it usually responds with fear. And when it responds with fear, that usually causes the price to push downwards. So we will see this week if that's going to be the case. But Uncle's job is I'm not here to tell you where the top or the bottom is. I am here to tell you about the important pivot level so that when the market does make a move, you'll know what to do. So just as a quick review, so we know how to use the levels. So if we look at the price action from Friday, it was really amazing price action. And there was money to be made to the upside, and there was definitely money to be made to the downside as well. I have my Discord where I wrote 613 is first resistant. If it clears, 615 plus is in play. And once it cleared, I wrote 613 cleared, put in 615-ish in play. And the reason why I said it cleared is because we look at that first candle of the day on Friday, it closed above on the 15-minute chart. Does it always work? It does not always work, but it works more than it doesn't work. So we're making decisions where the probability is higher in our favor. It cleared 613 and it hit the 615 target that I had, but from there it consolidated a bit, which we was able to catch the range 615.5 down to 614.5. That's the two yellow lines right there. And once it broke the range, it managed to get to a high of 616.35. But what happened from there? I had a 617 target, didn't hit the target. It managed to give us a false breakout setup. That's when we clear a resistant level, and instead of showing follow through, it broke back below the resistant level. That's called a false breakout setup, and it's your trigger, your trigger to enter puts, to bet to the downside. You can make thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars just from this move right here. So there was money to be made to the upside when 613 cleared. You buy calls, should have made some good money around this area up here. And then once we had that false breakout setup, it gave us a beautiful move. Broke down 615.5. I wrote that in the Discord as well. Amazing breakdown of the 615.5 level. 614.5 testing now, and below comes 613. And look what happened. It broke down 615.5. It also broke down the 614.5 level on the 15-minute chart. Once we had those close below those levels, that's our trigger to enter puts, bet to the downside, and we can see it hit 613, broke down 613, hit 611. Just so much money was made in this move, the up move and the down move. And what happened? Bounced off my 611 target, recaptured 613, and went right back to the 615 area. Level to level style, playing the setups. It's beautiful. But this is intraday though. Intraday move, awesome. So we gotta go to the daily chart, because most people, they want more than just some intraday moves. What do we need to see for a multi-day move to the downside? If this is truly the top, we're at all-time highs, tariff talks are happening again. Do we get bearish because of the news? No, we do not. When do we get bearish? We get bearish when the price action tells us to get bearish. And that would come in the form of a false breakout setup. So we know that 613-ish area was the last all-time high. We also know that that level was cleared. We've seen how awesome false breakout setups can play out. That's on the 15-minute chart. On the daily chart, it works even better. So if we can break down that 613 level or even gap below it, maybe with help from the news, I don't know. I don't worry too much on the how. I only care about the what. What is the level that needs to break down? 613. And break it down 611, taking out last Friday's low would help as well. Break it down 613 and 611 would be your trigger for puts. You bet to the downside if those levels fail. You bet to the downside with targets below. I have at 609, 607, and 605. Below 605 was a previous pivot high in June 11. If we can break down that level, the bullish trend structure, right? When we make the higher highs and higher low, if we can take down that previous pivot high at 605, that would violate the bullish structure and give us more reasons to be bearish. Are you with me so far? So if you are bearish, like I said, 613 and 605 are the two levels you want to see break down. If you are bullish, or if you're a price action follower like me, I recommend staying bullish as long as the price stays above 613. Why? Because the price staying above 613 keeps the breakout intact. And as long as the breakout stays intact, that is bullish. So 613 is pretty much the equilibrium level for this week. Stay bullish above. And if you want to play a pullback, you want to see that level break down along with 611. This time we can move on to triple Q. Triple Q had like pretty much a doji candle here. We got to be careful when we see candles like this. Is it a pause for some bullish continuation, or is it a pause right before we get a reversal? The main level that I like for you to look at and keep an eye on is the 547 level. If we gap below 547, there's a good chance we're going to pull back down to 545 and 543.3. Now, one of the rules when trading doji candles is you need to look at the low and the high. You watch the range of these doji candles, because more often than not, when we violate or break the range of the doji, price continues. So if we break the high of the doji at 550, we can say, hey, we're bullish, more highs are incoming. But if we break the low of the doji, it's likely we're going to get a legit pullback. So 547, 545, and I have a fib level of 543.3. If all three of those levels fail, I would favor a deeper pullback. And let me tell you, we have multiple gaps, and we definitely have a big gap all the way down at 531-ish area. So there's definitely reasons to pull back, but it would need to start with 547, 545, and 543.3 failing. If it does, I'm bearish. But I am overall bullish above 547. And if we take out the high of the doji at 550, absolutely believe that more upside is possible. Here is Tesla. Tesla consolidating. It's in the chop phase. It's in the contraction phase. Remember, the contraction phase, it means that it's getting smaller. Volatility is getting smaller. Volume is getting smaller. Range is getting smaller. And eventually it's going to explode back into the expansion phase. That's the two phases of the market, the contraction phase and the expansion phase. Tesla's contracting right now. It's in the chop phase. The range that I have is 331.6 down to 320.5. Anything in between that range is chop. But if you want a big move, a big trend move, multi-day move, directional move, we need to see the break of this range. Above 331.6, I am bullish, and I do favor a $15 to $30 move to the upside. If we break down 320.5, I do favor another $15 to $20 move back to the downside. Watch the break of the range, and anything in between, I just leave it alone. You can do some scalp moves, maybe scalp a few dollars here and there, but I would leave it alone. Wait for the break of the range. We should head back into the expansion phase, the trend phase. Is going to be beautiful. 320.5 to 331.6 is the range. We break that range, we're good to go. NVDA is continuing to look bullish, setting new records. But if it is pullback time, I do have support at 157, 155, and 153. Now 153 being the previous all-time high. That's the main level that bears need to break down to give us a major false breakout setup. Can break down that level, I favor we drop anywhere from $5, $10 to a $15 move to the downside. And $10 drop would definitely be possible for NVDA, but we need to lose 153. Otherwise, overall bullish above 153 and above 157. I have the next resistance at 158.7 and 160. If those levels can clear, we can continue to set new records, new all-time high. And I have the next fib extension level at 168.8. We're very close to that level, but to get there, NVDA must stay above 153 at the lowest. We'll move on to coin. Now coin, I don't really trade crypto. I don't really cover crypto like Bitcoin, Ethereum, like that. I like my stocks. I like to cover the ticker symbols of stocks and stuff. And coin gives us exposure to the cryptocurrency market. And it's very volatile. I really do enjoy trading coin from time to time. But as of right now, it looks like it's trying to pull back. It's been going up like crazy. This is a crazy move, like $100 pop to the upside. Oh, more than that or something. But let's see what happens this week. It looked like it wants to pull back a little bit, which would be healthy. I have next support levels as of right now. Well, the lower of this candle is at 346.6. So I have support at 352, 350, 348, and 346.6. For me to be bearish, I need to see all those levels taken out, especially last Friday's low at 346.6. We can break down those levels. It takes out a fib level that I have have, and it should send us a lot lower down to 330 back to the 320s. But overall, I would be bullish above 347.3, but the levels that I'm using right now is 346.6 and 348. I would be overall bullish above that zone. And to trust the bounce, I do have resisted at 353.3 and 355. I usually don't trust bounces off of support unless it's strong enough to clear resistance. So if it's hitting 350, 352 area, I'll trust the bounce if 353.3 and 355 can recapture. That should put 360 plus back in play. Keep in mind, this ticker symbol moves. So above 355, 360, I would favor a bounce back up to the 370, even the 380 area. But if we lose those support levels I mentioned, 350, 348, and 346.6, I would definitely favor another $20, maybe $30 move to the downside. And last but not least, here is the VIX. I was talking about the 16 level. The last time we spoke, I was talking about the 16 level and the 17 level. And we can see that for the second time, VIX managed to bounce off the 16 level. But all it did on Friday was back test the 17 level, and it has some selling pressure, as you can see. You can see that the wick, just selling pressure pushed it back down. So if VIX take out that 16 level, that is very bearish. Could be some liquidity below where we get a false breakdown setup, but I'm not going to confirm unless we get the false breakdown setup. Otherwise, if we lose 16, that would be very bearish. That would be follow through from the loss of 17, the back test. Losing 16 would be bearish follow through. We're likely heading down to 15 into the 13 area. So remember, a bearish VIX is usually a bullish SPY. So now that I see that the market makers are respecting the 17 area, they broke it down as support, they retested it as resistance. Now that I see that they're respecting it, I will only turn bullish if 17 can be recaptured. If it does, that will tell me like they're just messing around. That's a false breakdown setup. It's just a false breakdown. They were setting this up. Above 17, I'd be bullish, but below 16, that would confirm my bearishness. All right, so I hope you found value in this video. Thank you so much for sitting here and listening to me. It really does mean a lot. I really appreciate you, and I hope you was able to get some value from this. And let's make a lot of money this week. Peace.